we being poisoned by our own water supply? Because as many as you know, in the United States, over 70% of public tap water is fluoridated, a practice many experts defend as essential for dental health. But here's the part that they leave out, which is that most developed countries don't fluoridate their water. And somehow their teeth didn't all just fall out. So today we're going to uncover why the so-called experts in the United States are so obsessed with it.
In Utah already, they've banned fluoride in drinking water, and this, Mika, could really have devastating consequences for public health and oral health in particular.
CBS News also echoed that concern, citing a study claiming that removing fluoride from our water supply could cause 25 million cavities and cost the U.S. $9.8 billion. Alarming numbers for sure, but let me ask you this. When was the last time a U.S. health agency was worried about the cost of sickness? I'll wait. You see, it wasn't until I dug into the history of water fluoridation, and more importantly, who profits from it, that the real reason for all this outrage started to make a lot more sense to me. Let's go back to 1945, when Grand Rapids was the first city to introduce fluoride into its water supply. And then in the coming decades, fluoride was added to most public drinking water in the United States with the claim that it helps prevent tooth decay. But if we take a look at WHO data, tooth decay rates are virtually the same across multiple countries, all getting better regardless of water fluoridation. But for those countries that decided to add fluoride to their water supply, more and more studies are now coming out that are finding adverse impact on cognitive development, among other health issues. Quote, not a subtle finding, they say, and consistent with more than 50 studies. In fact, just last year, a judge in California ruled against the EPA in a lawsuit over fluoride in water, writing, quote, in all, there is substantial and scientifically credible evidence establishing fluoride poses a risk to human health. It is associated with a reduction in the IQ of children and is hazardous at dosages that are far too close to fluoride levels in the drinking water of the United States. It's also important to mention where the fluoride in our water actually comes from.
The fluoride that they get is a byproduct of the phosphate fertilizer industry, and it's called hydrofluorosilicic acid. So as a byproduct of the phosphate fertilizer industry, it's considered a hazardous waste, and it's very expensive to dispose of.
It's hazardous waste. This is what we are putting in our water. This goes all the way back to 1983, when the EPA called this, quote, an ideal solution to a long-standing problem. And since then, companies like Mosaic, formerly part of Cargill, and a few others sell this byproduct to municipalities for use in drinking water instead of paying to dispose of it as hazardous waste. Great for the bottom line, I'm sure.